So it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the head of state presides over the 13th meeting of the Council of Ministers. An Israeli strike on a humanitarian zone kills 40 dead and 60 injured in Gaza. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the chairmanship of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, Head of Government, the 13th sessions of the Council of Ministers took place this Tuesday, September 10, 2024. The following texts were examined and approved with the Ministry of Budget. The first question, draft finance law on the rectifying state budget for fiscal year 2024. The purpose of this amending budget bill for the year 2024 is to revise the budget forecasts of the initial budget bill for 2024 to take into account new measures and commitment by the state. Indeed, the state's draft amending budget for 2024 is presented in balance with the revenue and expenditure totaling of 157.327 billion, representing an increase of 4.833 billion on the initial 2024 budget forecast to 152.419 billion. The 2024 rectifying finance bill comes against a gloomy international backdrop with economic recovery in the regions, and for Djibouti, real GDP growth is estimated at 7.1%. This growth is notably boosted by improved port activity in the first half of 2024, as well as better than expected performance in the free zone sector. At the same time, inflation has fallen slightly from 1.5% in 2023 to an expected to 1.4% in 2024, mainly due to the lower commodity prices. Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of Industry, the second issue, draft law approving the financial account of the Djibouti Economic Development Fund for the fiscal year 2023. The financial account of the Djibouti Economic Development Fund for fiscal year 2023 show income of 524 million to 920 thousands and expense of 401 million, with the positive amendments of 123 millions. Income for the year increased from 524 millions in 2023 to 476 million in 2022. Profit for the year is up sharply, plus 219.9% on the previous year. It rises from 29.4 millions in 2022 to 123.5 millions in 2023. Total revenue are up please 48 millions on the previous year. Revenue will rise from 476 millions in 2022 and 524.9 millions in 2023. This increase is due to higher reversal of credit provisions, plus 136 million, and interest arrests and management fees, plus 11.5 million. However, operating income fell 8.9 million due to the absence of the new loans. Total expenses for the years were down 48.9 million. They will amount to 401 million in 2023 compared with the 447 million in 2022. Personnel costs also increased 24 million. They rises from 178 million in 2022 to 202 million in 2023. Financial expenses falls 8 million to 42 million in 2023. Other external services increases 4 million and to 43 million. The fund's cash positive has increased 346 million. They will rise from 309 million to 600 55 million in 2023. Net loans to customers amount plus 4.7 billion in 2023 compared with 4.6 billion in 2022. In 2023, recorded a positive performance for the second year running with several indicators showing positive results. This dynamic performance is attributed to the collections policy implemented by General Management since 2022, and during the 2023 financial year, the Fed has implemented a debt collection policy which has resulted in an increase in its cash balances. Minister of Defense in charge of relation with Parliament. The third question is the project, the financials of the financial account for 2023 show incomes of 2,771,000 and expenses of 2 billions with a profit of 2,914,000. Profit for the years was significantly higher than the previous year. It amounts to 2.9 million in 2023 versus 50.7 million in 2022. Operating income comprises contributions to 2.34 billion, up to 183.4 million, and subsidies of 424.2 million. The government subsidies fell sharply by 91 million. The CMR's expenses increases to 33.5 million. The main expenses in terms are pensions and gratuities, personnel costs, purchases of material and supplies, and external services. In 2023, the CMR acquired tangible and intangible fixed assets amounting to 11.5 million in fixtures and fittings, offices equipment, and furniture and materials equipment. The Minister of Energy in charge of natural resources, the draft law approving the financial account. The first question is of the financial account of the EDD for fiscal year 2022. EDD's financial account for fiscal year 2022 show incomes of 32.8 billions and expenses of 31 billions with a net surplus of 906 millions. Earnings for the year were positive but fell sharply to 1.26 billion. It will fall from 2.17 billion in 2021 to 906 million in 2022, a drop of 58%. Total revenue rose from 31.3 billion in 2021 to 32.8 billion in 2022. This rise is due to an increase in revenue for energy sales and works and services. Operating expenses will rise to 30.5 billion in 2022 from 29.8 billion in 2021. The increase is due partly to the sharp rise in fuel costs and partly to the rise in other purchases. Personal costs amounted to 3.2 billion. Net accounts receivable will amount to 58.9 billion compared with the 50.5 billion in 2021. Electricity production is amount to 545 megawatt, including 508 megawatt supplies by the interconnections and 36,000 megawatt produced by diesel generators in 2022. EDD will have invested around 16.3 billion in essential infrastructure, software acquisition, constructions, technical installations, equipment and tools, offices, furniture and equipment, IT equipment, and rolling stock. The Minister of City and Urbanism, the fifth question of draft law approving the financial account of the for fiscal year of the CIAF financial statement for the 2023 financial year show incomes of 2 billion 184 and expenses of 2,249 million. Net income continues to fall from minus to 213 million in 2022 to minus to 64.7 million in 2023. incomes rose sharply by 120%. This income is made up of rental sales, 420.2 million sales of services, plot for 419.5 million, and finished product, notably bricks, blocks, gravels, and concrete, 137.8 million. Operating expenses will rise from 993.9 billion in 2022 to 1.9 billion in 2023. This increase is linked to the costs of work of the Nagad project. Personal costs account for almost 28% of the total, or more than 551 million, and are up slightly 7% of 2022. Financial interest expense will amount to 178 million in 2023, compared with the 192 million in 2022, and borrowing will be significantly down by 2 billion compared with the 2021. The Minister of Trade and Tourism, the sixth question draft law approving the financial account of the offices of the property, industrial and commercial for the fiscal year 2023. The financial account of the Djibouti industrial and commercial property offices for the year ended December 31, 2023, show incomes of 259 million and expenses of 248 million in 2023. ODEPIC pursued its reforms to improve the business environment and facilitate business startup procedures. Total revenue amounted to 259 million, a slight decrease of 5.11% compared with 2022. Total expenses, ODEPIC's total expenses have increased by 0.30% from 243 million in 2022 to 243 in 2023. And in 2023, ODEPIC recorded a lower net incomes of 15 millions than in the previous year. During this financial year, ODEPIC continued the improvement of the business environment with a view to facilitating business startup procedures. The Minister of Justice and Penitentiary Affairs in charge of human rights, the 7 questions project, as part of the fight against the financing of terrorism and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, the Republic of Djibouti has put in place specific measures aimed at reinforcing national security. These measures are governed by Decrees number 2024-53-PR, which defines the regime for implementing targeted financial sanctions. To ensure the effective implementations of these provisions, the draft order has been drawn up to set up the technical committee for the implementations of the management of targeted financial sanctions related to terrorism and professions of weapons of mass destruction. This committee is responsible for coordinating and overseeing the applications of the measures set out in the aforementioned decree. In order to carry out its tasks, the technical committee is assisted by the agency for the National Agency of the Financial. The Minister of Health, the 8th question is draft decree establishing an institutional framework for managing the monkeypox epidemic since August 14, 2024. The monkeypox epidemic, also known as Mpox, has been declared a public health emergency on international concern. This disease caused by the Mpox virus is transmitted mainly through direct contact with the infected skin, lesions, body fluids, and contaminated objects. In response to the upsurges in cases in various regions, including non-epidemic areas, the Republic of Djibouti has set up an institutional framework to manage this health crisis. The draft decree setting up an institutional framework for managing the monkeypox epidemic provides for an interministerial committee and a technical committee whose missions are to coordinate actions between the various ministries concerned and to implement preventive measures. To this regulatory framework aims to structure and institutionalize efforts to combat monkeypox. In particular, it will strengthen epidemiological surveillance for the rapid detection of cases, while facilitating a coordinated response by national to limit the spread of the virus and protect public health. The Minister of Justice and Penitentiary Affairs and in charge of human rights, the 9th question draft decree appointing Ms. Fathia Muhammad Farah is appointed Director of the National Agency for for Finance and Communication, the Minister of Foreign Affairs International Cooperation spokesperson of the government reported on the participation of the delegation led by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, in the 9th Summit of China-Africa Cooperation, which was held from September 4 to 6, 2024 in Beijing. During this summit, the President of the Republic participated in various forums and summits. In his participation as the current chairman of IGAD, the head of state participated in the Forum of Peace and Stability. He also chaired the China-Djibouti Economic Forum in Shanghai with the theme of Djibouti, a commercial and investment hub. This forum brought together more than 250 businessmen and women in senior personalities from Shanghai. On the sidelines of the summit, the President of the Republic had bilateral meetings with his counterpart, His Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China. During this meeting, two agreements were signed relating on the one hand to the economic partnership framework agreement between the People's Republic of China and the Republic of Djibouti for shared development, an agreement that lays the foundations for the development of future industrializations of Djiboutian product, mining and others. And on the other hand, the MOU on the Chinese Initiative for Global Development between the Chinese Cooperation Agency and the Djiboutian Authority. The Minister of City, Urban Planning and Housing is reporting on her participation in the first African Urban Forum held from September 4 to 6, 2024 in Addis Ababa. The Minister of Youth and Cultures reported on her participation in the International Forum on the Adoption of the Arab Strategy for Youth, Peace and Security, which took place on August 28-29 in Amman, Jordan. She also reported on the Youth Bridge Stay in Al Sabih programs on the occasions of the celebration of the International Youth Day, which took place from August 8 to 12, 2024 in Al Sabih. The Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf Endowments sponsors the launching of ceremony of the educational training activities of the Institute for Moderation and Culture of Peace. The People's Palace hosted yesterday a ceremony dedicated to the launching of the educational and training activities of the Institute of Moderation and Al-Wasatiyah and Cultures of Peace under the patronage of the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf, Momin Hassan Barre. The event, which took place under the slogan "Strengthening the Values of Moderation, Fairness and Tolerance to Build a Conscious and United Generation," was attended by the Director General of the Institute, as well as senior officials of the ministry, alongside several imams, scholars, preachers, and faculty members of the Institute from Al-Azhar Al-Sharif. The educational and training activities of the Institute are paramount importance in shaping and developing the skills of the imam and preachers. This scientific center is the result of a broader strategic visions aimed at improving and developing religious education in Djibouti and the Horn of Africa's region. In response to contemporary challenges and development during the ceremony, participants watched a screening briefly summarizing the Institute's journey at the main activities and programs carried out during the past academic year 2023-2024. The event concluded with the presentations of certificates to the imams and preachers who participate in the computer training courses organized by the Institute last May and July. It should be noted that the Institute of Moderation and Cultures of Peace, inaugurated under the patronage of the President of the Republic in 2023, is one of the pioneering projects in the field of religious education. The representative of the ulema in Djibouti, Sheikh Aliya Hassan Douale, imams and preachers at the Makki Mosque, gave a speech at the event stressing that the Institute of Moderation and Cultures of Peace, affiliated with the Ministry of Islamic Affairs, contribute to training a generation that is aware and capable of facing various intellectual and social challenges. For his part, Al-Azhar Professor Abdul Wahab Abdul Maqood also stressed in his speech the importance of educational and training activities to strengthen the values of the moderation, emphasizing the remarkable cooperation between the Institute of Al-Azhar University, founded more than 1,000 years ago. For his part, the Director General of Al-Wasatiyah Institute, Al-Saleh Ahmed Abdallah, began his speech by thanking the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf for his continued support and supervision of the Institute activities since its inauguration in 2023. He took the opportunity to highlight the Institute's achievement, presenting the educational programs implemented and their positive impact on the beneficiaries and the community as a whole. He added the Institute of Moderation and Al-Wasatiyah has from the beginning trained and prepared imams and preachers in various fields, including the technological file use of the internet. In his speech at the event, the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf, Momin Hassan Barre, expressed his deep pride in organizing this important event, emphasizing that the launch of the educational and training activities of the Institute of Moderation represent a milestone in strengthening moderate thought. He touched upon the strategic objectives of the Institute, stating that among its main objectives is the provisions of high-quality educational training programs that contribute to training a generation of scholars and preachers rooted in the principles of moderation and equity. Except from the speeches, the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf said, "Our celebration of this promising beginning confirms our belief in the importance of these values and pushes up forward in realizing our visions of building a community of solidarity, harmony, cooperation, and brotherhood." This is one of the messages of the Institute, which works hard to achieve it through the development of training and research programs and the building of extensive partnership with the academic and religious institute. Youth constitute the pillar of this society, and they are the driving forces towards a promising future. Thus, the Institute pays special attention to the empowerment of youth by providing them with the knowledge and skills necessary to actively contribute to the construction of their community. We invite you all to participate in these efforts in order to make this institute a center of enlightening ideas, fruitful dialogue, and constructive communication between imam, scholars, intellectuals, and rising generations of our youth. Under the auspices of the State Secretariat for Sport, the collective of the local elected officials and leaders united of sustainable development for sustainable development organized at King Fahd Sports Complex the closing ceremony of the inter-municipal football tournament called the Tournament of Peace and Friendship. The final of this long-awaited tournament pitted two major municipalities of Djibouti against each other, Boulaous and Balbala. The match was marked by a great performance by the Boulaous team, which won with a score of 2.0. This success was welcomed and celebrated by a large audience. The closing ceremony was enhanced by the presence of many eminent personalities. The Secretary of State for Sports, His Excellency Hassan Mohamed Kamil, attended the event accompanied by Omar Ahmed Wais, Vice President of the National Assembly, the Member of Parliament Isa Mohamed Omar, and Suleiman Daher Bile. Guests are also included Amina Yaqub, President of the Dream Djibouti Association, the Sub-Prefect Heibe Hared Gedid, and of the Tersa District, the Director General of the Umar Mahmoud Ismail, and the President of the Hayable Annex Osman. The evening culminated in a ceremony to present awards and trophy to the participating team. This award ceremony was an opportunity to reward the exceptional performance of the team and to highlight the commitment of the player to promoting the values of peace and friendship through sport. The Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Djibouti for the Republic of India and the Democratic and Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, His Excellency Isa Abdullahi Asowe, presented his letter of credence this Monday, September 9, 2024, to the President of the Republic of Maldives, Dr. Muhammad Muizu, in his capacity as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Djibouti to the Republic of Maldives, with the residence in New Delhi. During the ceremony of presentation of letter of credence, President Muhammad Muizu granted the Djiboutian ambassador a brief interview, during which the latter conveyed to him the warm greetings of his counterpart and Minister of the Republic, the President of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. During this privileged meeting, Ambassador Issa Abdullahi Assowe took advantage of the presentation of the letter of credence to salute the privileged state of bilateral relations between our two countries while discussing with His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Muizou issuing a common interests and opportunities for a bilateral cooperation as well as consultations and mutual collaboration in international bodies. The President of the Republic of Maldives, for his part, expressed his willingness to strengthen the existing cooperation between our two countries through active and intensive diplomacy in the services of peace and security, prosperity and common development. After congratulating the new ambassador on his appointment and expressing his full availability to carry out his noble mission, President Mohamed Muizou also took this opportunity to ask the new ambassador to convey his greetings and friendship to his Djiboutian counterpart, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. On a day full of hope and generosity, the Diwan Zakat Foundation yesterday organized the ceremony of distributing the first batch of sponsorship of orphans for the year 2024 to 83 orphans during a ceremony held in the city of Unity of Dakhil in the south of the country. This event took place in the presence of the officials of the Diwan Zakat as well as representatives of the Al-Rahma Center, who all stressed the humanitarian importance of the orphan sponsorship project, considered one of the most important initiatives of the Diwan Zakat in the field of social protection. This ceremony is part of the considerable effort made to improve the living conditions of the orphans in the Republic of Djibouti in accordance with the national initiative launched the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh. The main objective of this initiative was to provide material and moral support to orphans so that they can live with dignity and actively contribute to the building of their society. In his context, Mr. Aden Hussein Aden, head of the sponsorship department of the Diwan Zakat, said that the orphan sponsorship project embodies mercy and social solidarity, seeking the ensures a decent life for each orphaned child. Today, we are distributing the first batch of the orphaned sponsorship for the year 2024 to 83 orphans, and we reaffirm our commitment to continue this humanitarian work in the years to come. Said it is important to note that the orphan sponsorship project is not limited to mere financial support, but it's a comprehensive project aimed at providing educational, health and psychological care to orphans and guiding them towards a promising future. As part of its ongoing effort to support the most vulnerable categories, including the orphans, the Diwan Zakat Foundation in Monday, September 9, 2024, distributed the first batch of the orphanage allowance for the year 2024. These programs benefited 81 orphans in Ali Sabih region. The distribution operation took place at the headquarters of the regional council in the presence of the acting prefect, Ms. Saida Waberi Assowe, the vice president of the regional council, Nuh Said Galdon, as well as the head of the orphan sponsorship services at the Diwan Zakat Foundation, Aden Hussein Aden, at the head of the communication, Ms. Nim'a Hussein Hosha. This new batch of the allowance is a part of the broader distribution campaign that covers the interior regions of the country. Similar distribution have recently been distributed in the Alta, Dakhil, and efforts will continue in the coming days in the cover all other regions. In her speech, the acting prefect of Ali Sabih, Saida Waberi Assowe, stressed the importance of this initiative in improving the living conditions of the orphans and supporting them to overcome life's challenges. She also noted that this aid comes at an opportune time with the start of the school year, thus easier the financial burdens to needy family and promoting a conducive educational environment. These contributions are not only financial support but also a noble humanitarian gesture aimed at improving the lives of the most vulnerable sections of the society, said. For the international scene, floods, at least 20 dead in Morocco and Algeria. At least 20 dead have lost their lives in Morocco and Algeria in floods caused by torrential rains that hit rural areas of these two North African countries over the week, and several others are missing. According to the authorities, on the material level, homes were swept away by the forces of the waters, and in most isolated regions, vital infrastructure such as drinking water and electricity as well as roads have been severely damaged. Rashid Al Khalaf, a spokesman of the Moroccan Ministry of the Interior, described this climatic phenomenon as exceptional. He specified that relief efforts are continuing to restore access to the disastrous areas, a critical situation that revives memories of the deadly earthquake that occurred just a year ago. In Algeria, thousands of rescue have been deployed in desert province affected by this bad weather. The ceasefires in Gaza discussed by Danish foreign ministers during visit. The Danish foreign ministers discussed diplomatic efforts to prevent further violence and escalation in the Middle East with the Egyptian counterpart on Monday in Cairo. With the situation in Gaza as a backdrop, Cairo, a major player in the negotiations for a ceasefire in the Palestine enclave, promises to stay to the course while the process seems to be getting bogged down. We will continue to make every effort to lead the negotiations process. We will not stop and we will not give up until there is an immediate ceasefire and an end to the negotiations against our people in the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem. Egyptian efforts will not stop, said Badr Abdelati, Egyptian Foreign Ministry. The United Nations, the 57th sessions of the Human Rights Council is held in Geneva. The 57th sessions of the United Nations Human Rights Council is opened on Monday, September 9 at the Palais des Nations in Geneva with a busy agenda, including the examinations of more than 80 reports and situations of human rights in the world, political unrest, the regulations of women's rights, and freedom of the press were some of the global concerns that were raised on Mondays during the 57th sessions of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. During the session, the UN Human Rights Chief also warned against racism and scourge that continues to plague the world. Over the course of the 5 weeks, the Council will examine more than 80 reports and hold 20 interactive debates on human rights. And citizenship issued an obstacle for Italian Prime Minister. The questions of how to grant citizenship to children of immigrants born in Italy has long been at the center of the political debate in Italy. Italian Prime Minister and Forza Italia leaders Antonio Tajani recently demanded a revision of the current law dating back to 1992. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.